That's a Shame is brought to you by the people who support us over at patreon.com/shamecity.
If you have $1,
$2.
$1 to spare, join us again at patreon.com/shamecity. This episode is prefixed by an apology. An apology by me, Declan, on behalf of my co-commentator, my co-host, my co-conspirator in life, Isaac B.
There's
to
no
the D.
need to do anything on my behalf.
And indeed, on behalf of Shame City and the That's a Shame brand.
Why is that?
As a whole. We gave you a graphic at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
That promised you
A month of
all
fun.
sorts of spooky goings on.
Yeah.
Of content.
A month of Sundays.
It had different fonts. It had different colours. It had different titles.
Yeah.
And I think that what happened was when we teased this,
yeah.
we told you here on air that this was the most planned that our content had ever been.
That's true.
And in one very key sense, it was true. We'd never before planned 5 episodes ahead of schedule.
Uh-huh.
However, within that truth, there was something of a small lie
mendacity.
in that whilst it's true we had those 5 titles and we had 5 ideas,
5 big concepts.
We've never been about the medium term. And so what has happened is that it has meant that each individual episode has been put together in the very last and final seconds before we started. It is the traditional way, but I feel like we perhaps implied that we were going to do something new.
I guess we never said it directly, so
I think that we did.
Well,
I
good
think
luck.
that we did.
See you in court, fools.
So the last one that was very good.
Digital Fright Night, that was a great episode. People have been chomping at the bit for more. They've been chomping it down.
And today, I won't be taking any responsibility for what happens today.
One? I haven't checked that.
Isaac has tried to rope me into doing some work, despite telling me last week on air again. Another of your lies.
It's not a lie,
that it was going to be entirely.
It's theatre.
Created by him,
and it has been
but I'm not letting this be some kind of I put the petrol in the car, therefore I was technically the getaway driver, kind of roping me in, accomplice.
You are responsible because your name's on the episode.
A hostage, and that is how the court and indeed the jury will see it.
You could only be talking about one thing, right?
Yeah.
And that thing, Delcquest.
I read in the Dirted Courier that Delcquest the Boglin was up to all kinds of fleshy mischief.
Throughout the long and storied history of Delcquest, you've often bellowed, unprompted, that you, quote, cannot get enough of this sort of thing, and, quote, wish real life had the vibrancy of your, by which you mean my, good and fair role-playing storytelling. Well, today's your lucky day, Declan. Time to limber up that meaty tongue, screw your courage to the dicking place, and dive face first into the Imagiporium. TM. Welcome to Delcquest, Episode 2. The something about Santa Diablo, the devil's large lad. The legend or tale of something like that. Now, I only remember that as the title. Don't think it was a curse, because if it was, then the story will make even less sense than it is intended to. Now, you at home, maybe you're new to the show. Maybe Delcquest 1 was so long ago that and so good that it burnt so bright, but it burnt so hot that you've burnt right out of your mind. In which case, I feel we should do a recap. Do you think? To that end, I'm just going to send you something on WhatsApp, and this is a series of lines that you're going to have to add to the recap. Now, I've got a little prop here. Why don't you just explain what it is?
I don't want to.
Here's a little audio clue. I've been playing guitar for a week and a half now, and I thought, what better time to just start getting that on air than in Delcquest. So let me know when you've got your WhatsApps ready, Declan, and we shall begin. Whenever I gesture at you, you just read the next line, okay? And I will need enthusiasm, or I'll stop the song.
You've written here, Declan's the name. I'm
Oh, sorry, it
assuming
should
that
say
you do
Delcquest.
mean Delcquest.
Yeah, that will be the
okay, that's
autocorrect
good.
of Apple Macintosh OS X. Thank you for pointing that out. Here we go. Why don't you do you remember that voice we did in the Block Switch prod where he was like, previously on, like that. You do that.
For my lines.
But previously on Delcquest, say that. And then any voice you like for your lines. Because what was Delcquest's voice? The
Well, it was just mine.
Okay, if you want to spice that up, now's the time. Like, we're still in the kind of early days of Delcquest, so feel free to experiment. Okay.
Previously on Delcquest.
I'll tell you when.
Okay.
Meet Delcquest. He's the little boglin with the heart of gold. Now your line.
Delcquest's the name. Boglin's the game.
You don't have to do it like a rap. He's not your everyday
That's not
outcast.
a rap. What have you been listening to?
Say another line. He's not your everyday outcast.
I'm just crazy about those gosh darn damn hearts.
And regular folk, get that little boggly nonce out of my tavern. Well, let's just say they don't always see eye to eye.
I dreamed a lady lizard took me dancing.
I had another line, but Declan was a dreamer. I mean, Delcquest was. And Tinsy Town, why, it was cramping his goddamn style. You're like,
I've got to do it, Ma. I've got to see the whole wide world.
his parents were dead.
They were crushed by the great leap forward.
But his sense of adventure, it couldn't be more alive.
Adventure? I hardly know her. Unless that's a sex thing.
It wasn't. Last we heard from Declan, he just left his filthy home of Tinsy Town to pursue his lifelong dream of becoming a damp arts practitioner.
I'm gonna be a boglock, I just know it.
With his heart on his sleeve and a smile on his lips, he watched his big brother Dunklin appear as a toad and then die.
Rip Dunklin. I wish my brother was still alive and not a dead old toad.
But not before he passed on a stern warning about the mysterious Boglock Brigade. Will Delcquest ever overcome his boggling poverty? Will he become the Boglock he's desperate to be? Welcome to episode 2 of Delcquest. Part 1. A Wander in Whispering Woods. Do a sound effect. Not gonna lie, you were pretty shaken up about that horrid moment when a big toad appeared, claimed to be your brother, passed on a message about boglocks and then instantly died. That's the kind of thing that'll stay with you. But there's no use dwelling on the past. With your trusty coin/guide sleeping soundly while magically affixed to your palm, you find yourself at both a metaphorical and literal crossroads. One sign points towards the dirted desert, east. Sounds pretty neat. The other, better sign, points towards the whispering woods, west. Even neater. Which do you choose?
The second, the even neater one.
The woods.
The woods.
That's
yeah,
good because the title of this part was A Wander in Whispering Woods.
Well,
if you'd gone the other way, that would have been bad.
I made it my kind of solemn, well, not solemn because I don't plan to stick to it, but I made it a kind of a vow to myself that I would try
to take a kind of
not to take part, no,
cooperative
but
approach.
I would try not to stand vehemently in the way.
Oh, that's really good.
Because you know how you're not very good at creating different.
Well, I
paths.
create the illusion of choice, and you'll never know when you don't have that in real life.
I kind of
the narrative adapts around
last
whatever choices
time,
you make.
even though you were making me do and say some awful things, and you'd created for me a character which was horrific.
You say what you like, and your character.
I did still manage to feel sorry for you when you'd look up at me with those blue wet eyes of yours.
They're not wet. They're
and you would look
Dumbledore-esque.
You would look so
often complimented on these
so
guys.
like haunted by the fact that you knew that I could see through the very transparent set of options that you'd given me, and you just were begging for me to go along with it.
A good narrator does is they make the main character feel like they have more control than they do, and it sounds like cha-ching. I've done exactly.
Well, I didn't have any because you just forged ahead no matter what.
Woods, a great choice
what
that fits in this chapter of your life, you think to yourself metatextually, and so you set off following the dusty soil path up to the mysterious misty woods on the horizon. It's a long walk, but you entertain yourself with a walking song to the tune of just the low E string on this guitar. And I believe you've prepared one for us.
Yeah,
just now.
It's called The Ballad of Tinsy Town. I woke today in Tinsy Town, which was my first mistake, because everything went right downhill soon as I was awake. My house got crushed, as did my dreams, but can't say I'm surprised, for boglins don't deserve good lives as far as I've surmised.
Sad.
In fact, it seems their purpose is to be accused of crimes, namely noncing loads of kids and noncing loads of times. My face was in the local news. They call the dirted rag.
Dirty Courier.
They call it the dirted rag.
Oh, they don't.
No,
Don't
they
just
do.
do that for an easy ride.
No, they do.
Lazy poetry.
Well, courier, it wouldn't fit to the meter, would it?
The dirted Courier.
The dirted rag would have been better as well. That's just a little note for you. So it
Too
mattered not
obvious.
the evidence I kept within my bag. The local pub was patronised by simple-minded lads, the gammon boys, the goblin folk, the racist Brexit dads. And one of them, the fattest boy, he thought, enough's enough. I want to fight this boglin nonce, he doesn't look so tough. Projecting though, this fellow was, the only nonce was he. And once they saw the files I had, the truth they all would see. And furthermore, this pedo chap was wrong about my strength, a prejudice we boglins face for our legs of little length.
Bless.
He threw a coin down at my feet and ordered me to dance. I knew the crowd was on his side, but had to take my chance. I threw myself between his legs and chomped upon his flesh. Achilles' heel between my teeth, a tendon chewing sesh.
Ugh.
The barman blew my arm clean off, harpooned it from
Oh,
afar.
yeah, I forgot about that bit.
Apparently it's legal here to keep that in a bar. The rest was really kind of weird. A wizard healed my wound, so just like that it was as though I'd never been harpooned. I kicked a coin and Fatty choked. That nonce he bit the dust. So now I had to use my smarts to win the townsfolk's trust. It honestly was going well. I had them on my side. I finally was one of them. I almost could have cried. But from behind I heard a voice, a feeble little squeak. The dead man had a daughter there, who now was keen to speak. The little bitch was close to tears, and won the pity vote. She stood against the evidence to make me a scapegoat. And then some nonsense did occur. This coin was in my hand, and through the roof he
It was
flew
a cool
me up
token, wasn't it?
and then refused to land. It zoomed me all across the sky, then made me take a test. It told me I could learn damp arts and had to start a quest. I tried to walk from Tinsy Town to take the taken road, when from the sky, without a sound, did fall a big fat toad. The toad could speak, of course it could, and said it was my brother, and whilst you won't have met him, I confirm it was none other. He'd always been a decent chap, a learned, honest bloke.
Was he always a toad?
He warned me of some evil guys, then croaked his final croak.
Ah, that's good.
And here I am, alone, afraid, and really fucking bored. I really do not understand why these eps are adored. I swear to God, this ain't an act. My hatred's strong and true.
Is it still Delcquest?
But now we're here, I suppose I must return the mic to you.
Shut your goddamn trap, dirty boglin freak! You whirl around to find the source of this angry voice and see just about 25 gunges down the path behind you what looks like a scarecrow, silhouetted against the bright sun which shines over everywhere that isn't these woods. What do you do? Free choice. Already you weren't expecting that.
Free choice, I can do anything.
Free choice.
Well, what I do is I've developed a thick skin, being a half boglin all my life.
Fair.
This is maybe the 50th person in this story so far. I'm already on episode 2 to yell such a thing. I'm going to say that I take the high road literally and figuratively.
There's only one path.
In that, I'm just going to walk on. I'm going to ignore him.
How fast you walking?
Faster than he, so that the interaction ends.
Oh no!
Oh wait, hang on a minute.
rolled
This
faster.
free choice. Whoa!
He's actually very
Who
good.
could have
Oi!
foreseen?
I say, come back here, you filthy little half freak.
Sorry, I don't talk to bigots.
I can't hear you at
You
all.
fucking straw-filled cunt.
What was that?
You fucking straw-filled cunt.
You want to say that to my face, do you, Bob?
But you haven't got one, have you? You just got a sack with an eye drawn on it.
Now, this goes on for some time.
Okay, I'm happy to act it all out if you want.
The Scarecrow is drawing closer and closer, and he's sort of moving in a way that you can't tell he's getting closer until he's within grabbing distance.
Oh no! And what does he do when he is? Oh no!
He grabs you right by the scruff of the neck, and he's like, "Right, that's it.
I was topless.
I'm going to headbutt you, little
So is
bitch."
he just grabbing my skin?
Yeah, he's grabbing. You've got like that kind of skin
Flesh.
that's easily grabbed, like the
Like
back
an
of
old
the
person.
back of a lion's neck. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Well, that's nicer than I thought you were going to imply.
What were you saying about me, old boy?
Well, I said you were a straw-filled cunt.
Say it again.
It's the 4th time now. Are you sure?
Say it again.
You're a straw-filled cunt.
Say it again.
You're a straw-filled stick man cunt with a sack for a head.
Enough, cries the Scarecrow. And you feel a pang of something like pity.
No, I don't.
That's not a free choice.
He's picked me up by the scruff of my lion's back chest
skin.
skin.
You on the floor.
Yeah, cool.
He's sobbing.
I'm going to scurry away.
You're not. You're...
No, I don't want to spend time with this guy.
Could you?
No, he's doing, he's gaslighting me.
He's not.
He started this abuse. And now he's and he physically assaulted me, and now he's trying to make it seem like I'm the abuser. That is literally gaslighting.
No, I know it's not you. It's not you. It's never you. It's me. I can only apologise, old boy. He says.
You can't.
And he pats you. He pats you on the cheek.
You could remunerate me.
With his straw hand. He pats you, and it's like being stroked by a brush. There, old boy. It's been a difficult couple of weeks. You want to ask me why?
No.
I'll tell you anyway. It's my family.
I'll tell you before you start.
Go on.
Reparations?
Not possible, I'm afraid.
Oh no. Okay, well that's all right. I'm heading off.
It's my family.
I'm sorry. I've got some damn parts to learn.
Hear me out.
You can read all about me in the dirted courier rag.
Something inside you says you're gonna hear him out, and you just do.
No, it's okay. I'm happy to interrupt him.
I'll tell you what it is. The Scarecrow's still weeping. You didn't know Scarecrows could cry, probably. So
well, he's not. He's just making the sound. There's no water.
I'll tell you what it is. I had a family. He tells you this long story. Now, it's when I say long,
interested.
20 minutes easily.
Yep, I'm not interested.
And the story is about how.
Just give me the real. The real bare bones.
So he met this female Scarecrow at college.
This is irrelevant.
Where he was
this is
studying
irrelevant
masonry.
detail. What's the bit he's crying about?
And they at first they didn't really see eye to eye.
Did she cheat on him?
And it took several attempts on his part to get her to even notice him, really. He tried all kinds of things. He auditioned for the play because he knew she was going to be going for the lead, and she was a great actress. She always got the lead part, and he thought, well, your
version isn't supposed to be 20 minutes.
So maybe I'll just give it a go. And you know what? Against all odds, he got the part.
No way.
Turns out he's not a very good actor, and this actually drove a wedge between them. But fast forward a little bit, and they did eventually get married, and they had children, and they lived happily in this town together until one day he came back from work, masonry, I may have mentioned, and he found his wife and his children, and they had no heads, and their heads were gone, and it goes without saying, but they were dead as well. And so you start to understand Delcquest the Boglin as you sit there listening to his tale, where this guy's coming from, because he's got pressure. And at the end of the day, don't we all? There but for the grace of God go you think to yourself.
No, what? My house got crushed. I've been accused of being a literal paedophile all over town. Archived in the local library.
I'm sorry to put this all on you, my boy, and I'm terribly sorry the way I shouted at you back then. It's just, you're reminding me of someone from my past, and he looks off a bit esoterically, and you think, that might be a thread to put on later. If only someone would come and help me out, solving this great mystery.
Sorry, mate, I'm busy.
I wouldn't have much to offer in return, of course.
No, well, I know, you already said.
Although, I have a large collection of esoteric works related to the Great Boglock Brigade that I've pirated over the years.
Not interested.
Not for any reason in particular, but
that's right.
I suppose if you were looking to become a Boglock, I don't know, are you?
I'm not, no.
I've heard that you are.
No, well hang on. Where did you hear this? Who have you been chatting to?
I read it in the Dirted.
Well, yes. hang on a minute.
Go on.
I only got sent on this quest 10 minutes ago. They don't go to print for another hour.
It's
so
hourly.
what are you saying?
It's
no,
hourly.
it's not. Like I said, it's only been 10 minutes.
Where I live, we keep our a scarecrow, we keep our ear to the ground.
Right, well, you were led astray. What happened was this fucking token told me I had to.
I hate to.
I just had to leave town because
I wouldn't
not
ask.
only was I accused of all these crimes,
Have I ever asked
but
you of anything before?
yes.
What?
Well, you fucking asked me to hear your boring story.
And you heard me out because, and I know this about you, Delcquest.
Go on.
You're a good one.
I never told you my name.
You're one of the good ones. You're one of the good ones. There's not many like you and I.
Well, hang on.
We're
What?
two of the good
no
ones.
I haven't said you're a good one.
No, I was saying that because
Yeah,
I
what?
know I am. And I'm saying you are as well.
I would have thought that one of the prerequisites for being a good one would be humility.
You got to know when you're a good one. You got to know. If you could come and help me solve this mysterious illness that's taken my family's heads,
No.
I'd be ever so goddamn grateful.
Yeah, I know you'd be grateful, but you haven't got anything I want, so it's fine. I'm
Before
going
you
to head
can
off.
even think about
okay.
further driving a wedge between you and the
Go on.
narrator
Yeah.
by avoiding the natural course of this narrative, you feel a tingling in your palm piece.
Oh
muffled
no,
voice
it's
says,
the coin.
You unball your fists, which were clenched for reasons unclear, and bring your palm
I'll
up
tell you why they were clenched. I wasn't allowed to unclench them for the entirety of the last episode.
Of course, the cool token. How could you have forgotten? You love it when the cool token's around.
I don't.
Good to see. What voice did the cool token have? Do you remember? Was it just mine? Maybe. Good to see you again, like that. You're not responding. Okay, I'll just assume it was my voice. Good to see you again, Delky. You a boglot yet?
Nope.
Sorry?
Nope.
Oh, never mind, son. You'll get there.
It's fine. Back in the pocket you
Keep
go.
working hard, right, Delky?
Here you are, Scarecrow. Do you want to? Do you want a talking token? I tell you what. He thinks he knows it all as well. So you two get on, and he'll help you. He'll help you solve this problem.
One hell of a boglot, Delgy.
I'm not.
Says the token.
What are you putting a G in me for? Stop it.
Boglins are usually filthy freak creatures, but he's right. You are one of the good ones, Delkin, says the cool token.
I'm not going to sit here, have you shout racist abuse at me, and then fucking disguise it by saying I'm one of the good ones. That creates a really poor narrative.
Has the cool token been abusive to you previously? I thought it was
just
mostly
has.
helpful.
It literally just said.
Oh, I see. I'm not planning
It made me cause untold damages to the local tavern, which is the main reason that I left town.
The dramatic question that episode 1 asked was, to what extent did the token make you, and to what extent were you just realising what you wanted to do anyway?
At every turn, I didn't want to do the thing that it made me do. So it was the token.
That's one theory, I guess. I'm not planning on having a big part in this adventure, if that's okay with you.
That's
says the cool
absolutely
token.
fine.
Got some important thinking to do.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Good chat, and the token falls back to sleep, just like
Thank
tokens
God.
love to do. What the hell was that? Asks Mr. Lunton, which
You're
is
welcome
the
to
Scarecrow's name. Well, we better get going, I suppose, if you're going to...
There's no we. There is no we.
The token really...
I'm going the other way.
Oh, the
you
token won't
chased
allow
me,
it. The token won't
hurling
allow
racist abuse. You then physically attacked me and then made me listen to your
be
fucking
fair,
sob
you-
story.
you did
Let me
egg
tell
him
you,
on.
is it Mr. Lumpton, was it?
Lunton.
Lunton.
Yeah.
I'm glad your wife and kids are dead. I do not wish to help.
Well, we'd better get going then, I suppose, if we're going to turn that frown upside down.
Said Mr. Lunton stoically.
Hop on my back, old boy, and I'll
I'm not
carry you
hopping on anyone's
I'll
back.
carry you to Scarroton on Blair.
This is just
Home to the Scarecrow
an
folk.
absolute litany of embarrassments.
And the mysterious illness you voluntarily agreed to help us out with. And off you go.
It's true what they say, that history is written by the victors.
Part 2. Skirmish in
Just out
Scarroton.
of interest,
go on.
how many parts are there?
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Something like that. How far through
God.
are we?
Oh,
Jesus Christ, it's going to be a long one. You've been clinging on to Mr. Lumpton the Scarecrow's back for what feels like days. It's not totally clear why this is his preferred mode of transit.
I've been pulling the pieces of straw out one by one.
Quite possibly. He's not far off your size, and you've learnt that, as expected, scarecrows are neither stronger nor faster than a regular person. It's slow going. Mr. Lunton has been wheezing a lot.
Hang on a minute, but a minute ago, he was able to move much, much faster than me and catch up to me while I was running away.
Half his size-ish.
Right, so it is faster than if I were just walking.
Not necessarily, because he's probably taking, you've probably got scurrying power.
Well, how convenient.
Well, it's
How
just one of those
convenient.
things.
It's just one of those things.
Mr. Lumpton, he's been wheezing a great deal, and you're sure that having your little fingers
I remember
into
when
his straw
I remember
chest
when my
cavity-
girlfriend was looking into playing Dungeons and Dragons, and one of the big sections of the rule book was dedicated to it's just one of those things.
Yeah, that's-
when you just can't be bothered.
Well, it's DM's choice.
You just say, it's just one of those things.
No, to me, I mean, I can see why, if you're inexperienced in the RPG world, you might think that.
Go on.
But what I'm going for is
Yeah.
a kind of meditation on, the randomness of the universe. Sometimes
going for
stuff just
meditation or
happens.
anything.
Yeah, it just happens sometimes, stuff. So anyway, you've been digging your little fingers
You've been
into his
reading
chest
too much
cavity.
Bob Honey.
And that's probably uncomfortable for him. But whenever you tried to suggest that you'd be happy to walk, he simply reaches over and pats your boggling head like you're some kind of little ugly backpack dog. The woods sure are monotonous. It's basically just trees. And the whispering element, false
the thing.
advertiser, to be sure. There are no signposts.
That's a shame.
And your scarecrow vehicle man doesn't seem to be consulting a map of any kind. For all you know, you could just be going round and round in circles.
Well, I think we probably are.
Just as you're about to raise this concern, Mr. Lumpton turns his head a full 180 degrees like scarecrows can, and looks you dead in the eyes. So where do you guys get off? He says. So where do you guys get off?
Get off doing what?
Oh, the kind of boggling folk that you are. Where do you get off?
What? Well, normally just with other boggling folk.
What do you... Oh, no. I mean, where do you get off acting that way?
Well, just because a lot of people have
Well,
some...
is it learned? Is it nature?
Well,
Is it nurture, man?
lots of people have some pretty horrid preconceived notions of how we act. So just so that I'm clear before I give you an answer.
Are you asking me, Mr. Lumpton?
Yeah, Mr. Lumpton.
Okay.
Which particular aspect of our being are you wondering?
I don't know. I suppose for me, it's the whole package. I mean, I'm not one of those, but I can see.
Well, you are.
I can see where they're coming from.
You made that clear with
I
your
can see
introduction.
what they mean because before today, I'd never really carried one of you guys, and I'm just wondering, where do you get off?
Well, it's really interesting because people like to distance themselves from bigoted views, and one of the ways they often do this is by saying they don't believe them and then simultaneously saying that they wholeheartedly understand them. And it seems to me
Well, I can understand anyone.
it seems
Doesn't
to
mean
me,
I agree with them. There was a horrid witch.
But if you
did a
didn't agree with
genocide. The few towns over, I don't agree with her. I understand why she did it because the town was full of boglins.
Well, I feel like you've just kind of conceded that you understand why someone would want to genocide us, and why is that?
Because some people out there, and I
go
don't
on.
know any of them personally. I've heard they exist.
So why have you
They
asked
have a
me?
problem with.
So why have you
with
asked
folk.
me why it's true?
Well, I'm just asking where you get off.
Yeah.
Is quite simply my question, and I just wonder why you're being so evasive. Is that one of your guys' things?
Yeah, well, we're
always
a
act
pretty
this way?
wary people,
Right, so you
'Cause
don't
we
address
often-
a question head on like
we
a
often
man.
come across
I
kind
suppose
of
you're not a man.
cunts like you.
Sorry?
Sorry, wait. Did you just accuse me of not being a man?
Well, you're not. Are you?
Where the fuck do you get off, pal?
What do you think a scarecrow is? It's a straw man.
What do I think it is? I think it's
literally
two.
a fallacy
I think
named
it's
after
two
it.
sticks
Boggling.
with a sack full of hay. That's what it is. It's two sticks with a sack full of hay and a head
God.
full of racism.
That witch will laugh when I tell her about what you've said.
Oh, your pals.
No.
your
I
buddies.
I meant she would if I knew.
Oh, your friend, the
She
genocider.
she drinks
the
in
fucking boggling
in a
Hitler.
town pub I may have been to once or twice. I just look. I don't want to get aggressive. And
Harpoon gun behind the bar, is there?
you're surprisingly articulate for a boglin, so I'll
See,
throw that out.
Once again, you've done this thing of implying that we're all ineloquent.
No. Far be it. I mean, I've only met a couple of you,
Yeah.
and the other two I've met, they were sort of in the. Well, they were indisposed. They couldn't really chat, so I don't know. They could have been articulate too, but
Right,
they're
but
in
you took
middle
the
of a meeting.
assumption. But you took the assumption that I'm a particularly articulate one,
I
even though you don't have any evidence to the contrary.
look. I'm just trying to give you a compliment. It sounds
You're
like
not
you
trying to
can't
give me a
take
compliment. It sounds like you're trying to disguise your bigotry behind a backhanded compliment.
Look, I feel like we may have got off on the wrong foot here. Bob.
Well, we did because
Delcquest,
you
right?
introduced yourself by screaming offensive stuff at
Okay,
me.
but from my
and
perspective,
then, lest we forget, doing an assault.
they say don't judge a scarecrow or a man, and we are quite similar until you've walked a mile in their shoes, and we've been walking for miles now, and I thought maybe we could get to know each other.
Neither of us has shoes, and maybe that says something about the metaphor.
I have needs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You have needs as well.
Yep.
We're here in the woods.
My needs, let's just lay this out on the table, shall we? my needs have been roundly ignored from the get-go.
Well,
because my need was not to speak to you, not to help you, not to go in the same direction as you,
But it's awful
not to
good
know
of
you.
you to have lent a guy a hand when his family, they've been taken by the head plate.
So is it my turn to have my needs met now?
Do you Boglins do that? Do you get down? Do you stir your straw? Or?
Well, we don't. I wasn't talking about the sort of perverted needs that you seem to be referring to.
Sorry, perverted?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong between what a man does with his walking companion.
Well, we're not walking
whispering
companions.
woods.
You're carrying
They say
me.
what happens in the woods stays in the woods. No one will be any the wiser. Look, I don't, go for this sort of thing. Usually I have a wife before she died.
And you decided to take advantage of that situation.
Is, it's made me think life's fleeting. Right. Take every opportunity you can. And if that means jerking a boglin in the woods while he jerks me as well, then maybe that's the path for us. What do you think?
Well, I wonder how it is that you reconcile in your head, knowing that you, I'm kind of like perfectly happy for me to be genocided, and B, also want
not you,
to jack you off.
Listen to me. It's not about what I want. It's about experimentation.
Right.
They say never say no to life.
Right.
But
they don't say never say no to jacking off a scarecrow in the Whispering Woods. and crucially, they never say that. So I'm afraid it's going to be a no.
Idea. It was just an idea.
Well, you were pushing it quite hard,
No, it's fine.
It wasn't like
it was a joke.
Yeah, there's playing devil's advocate, and then there's the kind of desperate look on that sack-drawn face of yours.
You small brains, you probably don't get our humour.
We're back to this. I see. You've had your wishes spurned, and now you turn to the vitriol again.
We're all friends here. Now, the whole time you've still been walking, actually, and his face has been turned round to you, which means you're quite uncomfortably close. Scarecrows don't spit, but they do sort of like, there's little bits of like splintery dust, sort of, sometimes a bit of soil. And you've been like, kind of dodging that as he goes. Mm-hmm. And as he's walking, and he's sort of still going on about, I guess he's not explicitly talking about jerking you and himself off anymore, but the undertone is still very much there. It's not. It's
all about give and take, quid pro quo,
push and pull. Lots of these sorts of ideas. There's a bang, and you're like, whoa, thrown backwards slightly because he's walked straight the fuck into a sign. Now,
no!
If he'd been looking forwards, and maybe this is a lesson that we can extrapolate as a moral for the listeners at this point. Just look before you walk, especially if there's a goblin on your back.
And also, I suppose the other crucial lesson for listeners is if you offer to do a kind of mutual jacking off session with someone
in the Whispering Woods,
and they say no, is just take that L, look, and eyes forward from then on.
Oh, Mr. Lunton, the stupid straw oaf, has walked straight into a plank of wood suspended from the trees. Scarecrows don't feel pain in quite the same way that we do, although you learn with some interest that they do have blood inside their straw. More than you'd think, and quite the unusual mix of hues, because he's walked into this quite hard on the back of his head. Remember, the front is facing you. When he spins back around to look at what it was, you're getting all kinds of like scarecrow mildew blood juice down your face, and no one wants that, right? No one needs that.
If there's a choice between that and jacking him, I think I might have taken my chances.
Well, who knows? Fuck, says Lunton. You could have warned me, old chap.
Well, your big head was in the way with Lunton.
Anyway, he says, we've arrived. He gestures up at the sign that says, "Welcome to Scarryton-on-Bled, established ages ago, twinned with Sputumville." That's just a place you might want to remember. It may come up in a future episode.
I don't remember that.
Who's to say?
When we go to Sputumville, Delcquest will be keeping his gob firmly shut.
"Lantern!" you hear from the distance, but not that far. "You're back! And who's this? Some kind of hunting trophy, is it?" Welcome.
Wow, you're a lovely people.
This character comes lumbering towards you, and he's a scarecrow as well.
Lumbering? Is he?
He's a scarecrow as well, but he's quite sort of an unusual shape. He's like sort of been stuffed a bit wrong. Scarecrows normally quite, like, they've got a specific silhouette, right?
Yeah.
They just look like a T, effectively, with a little dot on the face.
A bit like
this guy
Jesus.
looks a bit like like a hay bale that someone has stuck. Sort of like Snowman-esque, like Reuben-esque, but for scarecrows. "Welcome!" Lunton has explained that you're not just some hunting trophy and that you're actually his boyfriend. "Welcome to Scarryton."
Lunton, I feel like...
You must be a physician or a medicine man of some kind, I suppose. I'll confess. And he bends right down to you, really close. He stinks a little bit,
I'm getting that
like he's in a
dust
bar.
again.
I didn't know your kind could achieve such mental feats. And he taps your head. But nonetheless, and he's pinching your cheek a little bit, we're happy to have assistance with the head-off plague. How do you respond?
What? Thanks for belittling me.
You'll have to speak up.
I said thanks
little
for
boy.
belittling me, you
Not that
fucking
loud.
wonky prick.
Not that loud.
The other thing I was going to say, I do just as a matter of clarity want to clear up, like up front, I am in no way romantically or sexually affiliated with Lunton.
Well, there's two sides to every story.
No,
halfling.
there's one side.
They say there's no smoke without a fire.
Yep, well,
Us
there's
scarecrows
no
are very
smoke and there's no
fond of
fire.
that one.
So don't worry.
Well,
Lunton here,
Lunton's got a boyfriend.
well, he hasn't
You know,
got a
his
wife and
family were
kids,
just
that's for
killed
sure.
by
Yeah,
the head
no.
off plague.
I heard.
It takes your head clean off.
Yeah, that
this
was
plague.
It was well named.
Not just off and there and sort of next to the body, off and gone.
Oh, I see now.
Head
That
off
bit I didn't
and
know.
gone. Now the heads, they'll never.
Sorry, let me
found them.
say again. It's actually poorly named because head off implies, like you say, that it just sort of rolled off and it's there.
Well, it might have done, but it didn't stop rolling.
But it didn't. It
Roly
disappeared.
poly poly
And
down the hill.
Any of the heads seen since?
Not a jot.
I don't want you
Not
to
a
get the
dot of
false
head.
impression that I actually care. I just, we've been forced into this conversation. It's like small talk.
Some kind of plague doctor, are you?
No, I
What's
am
your
just a
name,
boglin.
boy?
I am just a boglin.
What's your name?
Delcquest.
Delcquest. Not Delcquest from the Dirty Courier.
You're the very same.
Trouble in Tinsy Town.
Yeah,
Boglin
that was me.
nods.
Well, that's so they said.
Oh.
Two sides to every coin, like you remember.
So, what do you mean by that in this context?
Oh well, what I mean is
You nonced twice.
no, it was someone else was
Nonce
the
in
nonce.
day and the night.
I was a boglin cop.
Oh.
I was undercover, and there was a whole thing. I killed the guy who was actually a nonce. I would have been a hero, but then this coin.
Business or pleasure?
Well,
Simple question, Delcquest.
in which context?
Your visit to Scarryton on Bled.
Oh, sorry.
Business.
I've been
Pleasure.
kidnapped.
You've not been kidnapped, I can see that much. You're willingly clinging onto him like a lover.
Well, he chased me
Stir
down.
his straw in the woods, did you?
No, well, when
Classic
I
Lunton.
tried my best to get away, but
nods. Lunton
Oh,
nods.
Lunton's
Yes,
nodding,
yes,
is
did,
he?
He did.
Well, don't get me wrong. Lunton was keen to. He was,
I bet he
in
was.
fact, overly keen to. In fact, I believe, had I not been pulling out some of his straw on the way so that he was weakened, he'd have made me do it there and then.
Well, whether you did it or not, that's, no judgment here. We all do some funny
Yeah,
things in
you're-
Whispering Woods.
You all say
We
that,
all
and
do
yet I
some
do feel the
crazy
judgment
stuff.
coming
No,
through
no,
thick
no.
and strong.
Pleasure it is then, right? You're not actually a
I
physician of any
don't
kind.
want to be here.
Well-
Can I leave?
In that case, I'm afraid I must introduce you to a
What?
little
Hang- go
Scarryton
on.
tradition of
Yep,
ours.
yep, go on.
Visitors of leisure are only
I'm
permitted
not-
access to, or indeed from, were you to want to leave, as I detect
Oh,
you
no,
might,
that's
our
a
humble
shame.
town, if they are able to best me in combat. Mayor Sawdust does a big howl/scream that sounds like this. And within seconds, the square is full of scarecrows of very similar sizes, shapes, and colours. Not much variety in the scarecrow space, you think. Beat me and you can stay as long as you like, Boglin, or depart when your heart contents. Maybe stir a few more pieces of straw before you go, if you know what I mean. He means jacking off other scarecrows.
Yeah, no,
to be clear.
I know what he's accusing me
The
of.
crowd goes wild. Woo! Violence! And they scream stuff like that. They're hyped. They formed
Yep.
a circle around you like in secondary school when
That's
there's a
cool.
fight. And everyone's like, yeah, fucking yeah. Really going for it.
I
What's his name? Mayor Sawdust.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you that. It's his
no,
name.
yeah.
He stands up and he pulls off. He was wearing this sort of toga.
Who's he pulling off?
Well, he's done that already.
Oh, I see.
As is clear from a kind of residue
Yeah.
around the groin. But he's wearing this sort of toga, like a blue,
Yeah.
like dungarees/toga. It's kind of like farmer chic, but also it's got
It's
this
like a
ancient-
denim toga.
like a Roman sort of vibe as well.
Yeah.
And he pulls it off, blah, like that, like a dungarees toggle.
Yeah.
He whips it right off, and it gets sort of caught between his legs, but he pulls it forwards, like he's flossing his undercarriage,
Yeah.
and then he just chucks it behind him, and everyone goes wild, and they're trying to like catch him.
Is he fully nude now?
He is naked, and he's got a dick. And you think...
Yeah, no, well,
you think...
he's made that abundantly clear.
What do you think?
I think I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Okay, well, let me just remind you, it's been a while since we were in a combat situation.
Yep, go on.
Did I mention that you leveled up at the end of last episode?
I think you might have.
So you're level 1 now.
Done, yeah, that's
so congrats on that. And at level 1, you've unlocked 3 new moves.
No, it's fine. I know the move that I'm going to use.
You only have the access to the 3
No, it's
moves.
fine. I know what I'm.
So let me just
do.
talk you through them. You can, and keep track of the damage and AP. That's attack points for each, because you'll have to do the maths yourself. You can spit. This is a simple move in which you reverse swallow a globule of sputum straight out of the gob.
Sawdust, man.
2 damage, 5 attack points.
He'll dry it straight up.
I think you're probably right there. You've got Undermine. Now, this is a new move, and it's a complex psychological one, because I've spec'd you towards... I noticed in your playstyle that you weren't so much hands-on as you were, like, trying to solve problems with the mind. So I took you down the psych
I think I
spec.
bit a man's heel off.
As I say, that's where the mind lives, right? Just by the mouth. Just above the mouth, that's mind town. This is a complex psychological move in which you hone in on your opponent's insecurities to make them feel bad. This can do anywhere between 5 and 5,000 damage. Now that's
quite the range.
And that will only cost you the 10 attack points. So it's double a spit, but hey, it might be worth trying.
But it's at least double the damage.
Your last move is called Jerk Token. And this is a fairly inappropriate move. It's quite an uncouth kind of like last ditch thing, if all else fails, in which you shimmy and shake the cool token that you remember is attached to your palm, right up in a target's grill, like this. Whoa! They can be up to 1 gunge away from you, so not more than that. That doesn't do any damage. It costs 1 attack point, and you will, in turn, you get a goofy token. So that's something to consider, because you know these tokens have been quite powerful so far.
I'm
So
honestly
maybe
keen to
unlocking
get
a
rid of them.
goofy
So the idea of getting another one really doesn't.
Well,
appeal
probably
to
the
me.
name might be quite interesting to you, because you're like, oh, I wonder how the goofy element will
it
come
doesn't.
into this quite serious plot.
No, I don't wonder that.
So,
That's fine.
Mayor Sawdust is squaring up. He's doing like shadow boxing. Yep. Oh, come on then, little boglin, you fucking prick.
Step near me, Sawdust, and I will set your fucking knob on fire.
How?
I've got a lighter in my bag.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't declare that at the start of...
That's fine, mate.
What else have you got in your bag? I just need to make a note. So you've got lighter.
That's all right. Everything I owned was in there.
Can you describe the lighter? What sort of age?
Yeah, it's like a Zippo.
You got a Zippo lighter.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that'll cost you 15 attack points to use, but you do have 20.
That's fine.
Okay.
What, the fight's over.
Think you're going to set me on fire, do you?
Yep.
Think a scarecrow my age gets to be the mayor without dodging a few flame balls? Bring it on, Boglin, you little prick. He lunges at you, and he does this thing where it looks like he's going to punch you, but at the last minute, the elbow comes out, and he undercuts your little Boglin jaw.
Yep.
He's gone pretty low, and you're quite alarmed, because what you realise is that the scarecrow is quite a limber person, because he does that lunge like it's nothing, and the reason why, he's got no muscles.
He's just made of sawdust. Yeah.
Now, interestingly, although Sawdust is a big guy, it doesn't hurt that much, because
he's soft.
It's soft fundamentally. So this
he's
just
also a
does
pussy. That's what I heard.
Oh.
I heard you're a pussy, Sawdust.
What was that?
Go on, hit me again.
He does.
Oh,
He's done another 1 damage.
Tickles me.
You've only got 8 health left.
That's fine.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, hit me again. Come on, Sawdust. Yeah,
3
that's
more
all right.
damage.
Come in
You're
closer.
bleeding.
Go for it.
He spits a great big gob of straw down your throat and gets lodged in your throat. Try coughing. You successfully cough.
Yeah.
Your throat is clear.
Come closer. Why don't you headbutt me, fucking Sawdust?
He's
you
played
prick?
his turn. He only had 5 attack moves because his speed was so fast.
Cool. So can he do anything now?
No, he's got to wait for your turn.
Cool, that's fine. I'm going to walk up and set him on fire.
Okay, let me just check. So you're using
it's fine.
Zippo lighter?
You said he can't do anything.
No, I'm just
on.
I'm just checking if the distance is right. So how far did we say he was? About 1 gunge away. The range on the lighter is up to 5 gunges, so you can, in 1 turn, if you want, you can run the 5, use the lighter. You could even run back to safe.
Well, he's only 1 gunge away, so it's fine. Cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
but you're gonna want to move a bit away if you set him on fire, because I'm just thinking you could end up burning yourself.
I'm gonna step 2 back, so I'm 3 gunges away.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Describe it.
Well,
Do you reach for the lighter from your backpack? Maybe?
Yep. I reach down. He thinks I'm about to do some kind of weird martial arts move because I'm kind of contorted.
Okay.
And
Look at the Boglin. Thinks he's the Karate Kid.
Exactly.
Which he's seen.
They've seen that movie.
Yeah,
It's the only one. They don't have trains,
Nope,
but they do have that
the Karate Kid.
on DVD.
Weird.
And I lean back, and then I sort of collapse to the floor.
Whoa, why?
I'm just...
Ha! That's what I thought, Boglin.
And I'm like panting.
While you're down there, he says, gesturing to his straw schlong.
I thought he might be.
And he starts sort of gyrating his hips so it
Yeah.
waves like around your face.
And that's
But you realise it looks
thing.
a little bit like a fuse.
Well, it does look very like that, and that's kind of what I was hoping. He's overplayed his knob.
He's quite literally being cocky.
Yeah. And as it swings down, I'm just going to lift up the lighter.
Let me roll to see if that
It's
works.
like Michael Bay slow-mo.
It does work.
It's like Michael Bay slow-mo. His eyes, they're not really there, but they go wide nonetheless.
Yeah.
The very tip of the wooden cock,
Yeah.
well, it sets ablaze.
A wick.
Nice.
Yeah, it was quite
It's
nice.
like a cross
A wooden
between
wick.
wick,
And yeah.
willy.
Oh god,
Your
it has
favourite
even
word,
more levels than
dick.
I thought.
Yeah. I roll back. I do a kind of backwards
combat
roll
roll.
slash flip.
That's pretty
to
chill.
get back on my feet and now at least 3
Can you
gunges
adopt
away.
a like little fighting pose?
I need him. I'm just holding the zipper out and I click it shut because my work is done.
What about if you went
Straight.
blew out the flame? That could be quite cool.
It could be quite cool, but
Just an idea.
half Boglins aren't. We're not
Okay,
cool
no,
people.
that's fair. It's good to know who you are.
I've got to be honest, haven't I?
Screams Mayor Sawdust, and he's fucking dead. The flames burst through him in a way that was quite obviously going to kill him. And one wonders how he got to be this confident, given that he's so fatally flawed in terms of his fire
while
approach.
he's on fire and he's doing that,
He's rolling
I've
around.
relit the Zippo and I'm just
Sorry, no,
holding
it's
it
not
around.
It's not your turn.
And I'm screaming at everyone. I'm like, "You want some?"
You can do that, yeah. You can
that's
do that
fine.
Off turn. You can't actually light anyone else on fire.
Now it doesn't matter. I've earned my right to leave.
The mayor is flailing, and he's
You said
rolling.
he's dead.
Trying to stop, drop, and roll himself.
You said he's dead.
And he's dying for
Okay.
sure. And maybe you're feeling a little bit like bloodlusted because, as I understand it, you go back over and you're sort of kicking him because you know if you just like kick him a bit quickly, like you're not going to catch the fire on you.
No, but I might accidentally put the fire out. And I don't
No,
wanna do
you're
that.
not going to. He is about to die, so you're
Okay.
fine to do this. You're kicking him and his straws flying off little.
Yeah,
you know, at
sawdust
firework
everywhere.
night when you have like sparklers and a little
Yep.
bit sort of drifts off, a little ephemeral
I do know
fairy
that.
shoot. That kind of thing's going on. It's quite beautiful, really, if it weren't for the horrid death of the mayor that you've caused. You fucking Boglin, you're all scum. And he's dead. You're
Right.
feeling
He showed himself
bloodlusted,
there,
and you're
didn't
like doing that thing when someone's done a big murder and they're like really taking a huge amount of oxygen, which for a half Boglin is quite upsetting because you are quite small and it makes you look like you're going to pop, like from the chest.
Yep.
You realise that all the onlookers have stopped applauding. They've for some reason never considered that this sort of thing could happen, and you sense that not only have you shown them that their mayor was a fallible scarecrow racist,
I've kind of
fallible and flammable.
I've put a sort of like a nuclear fear in
Yeah,
them.
you've basically taught
Death
them
from
about
above,
death because
yeah.
the scarecrow is otherwise immortal. There are 2 ways to kill it:
The heads off plague.
and straight up
So
kerosene.
hang on, Lunton's wife and children, are they the first scarecrows ever to die? No wonder the guy's messed up looking for a handy in the woods from any.
Bet you feel bad now, huh? Bet you're going to offer him one on the way back. That's for sure.
I turn round to offer and Lunton looks at me with abject horror.
Enough, Declan. I mean, Delcan. It keeps correcting your name. Enough, says Lunton, looking terribly distraught. You really shouldn't have done
Distraught.
that. Nice. That tradition is just supposed to be a bit of fun. A gentle brawl between would-be friends. You took it too far.
Well, I'm afraid he should have made that clearer and also should have laid off the racial abuse.
That was just part of his charm, says
Oh,
Lunton.
that's what they all
He
say.
was from a different generation, offers
Oh,
Lunton.
it was all right back then, was it? Yeah.
A little scarecrow walks out of the crowd and comes up to you.
Not this again. No.
Excuse me, mister, she says,
Take one more step, I will set you on fire, you little twat.
Why'd you have to tear my daddy to shreddies? It's the mayor's daughter.
Yeah, no way.
What do you say to her?
Well, he challenged me to hand to weapon to flame combat.
But if you knew you was going to beat him so easily,
Yep.
wouldn't a real hero have just turned the other cheek?
Well, I'm not a hero. I never claimed to be. I never wanted to be here. All I wanted to do was leave. I was happy, little girl. I was happy to just turn around and walk out of here. But your dad insisted not just on fighting me to the death, his own, but he had to sully what was supposedly such a great tradition with some horrifically discriminatory abuse.
I thought you was just going to rough him up a little bit. Surely, if you knew you could kill him so easily, you could have just sent him a warning blow, maybe lit one limb on fire and then put it back
All I lit
out.
on fire was his dick, and that was him.
I'm an orphan now.
Yeah.
Well, what are
You can
gonna
join
do
the
about
fucking
it?
club that I've left in my wake.
Dear me,
What am I going to do about it?
Yeah.
That's not my fucking problem. I'm out of there.
You'll have to take me in.
Nope.
We operate on Santa Claus rules here.
I
You're
will
the mayor
set you
now.
on fire.
You're the mayor
I
now.
will set you on fire.
You are now the mayor.
That's fine. I'm leaving.
You are the mayor.
Yep.
That much is clear.
I know you've
And the
said
little
that.
girl, when she realises that you're the mayor, she realises that you're her dad now
I'm
as
not.
well. And that's quite good because you feel like maybe this is a way you could make it.
Oh, wow. I didn't realise you wanted to push this in an infanticide angle, but here we go.
The townsfolk, when they realise as well, because it's, from the mouth of the baby scarecrow, that they've realised this system of quite old-fashioned, if you murder the mayor, you are the mayor system. It's not a great system. As I've said, no scarecrows have died before, like last week. So it was just a tokenistic
Wasn't a
sort of
problem,
thing.
yeah.
They just gave it to the fattest, biggest scarecrow in town.
And that was him.
That was how they chose the mayor.
The scarecrow with the most flammable dick.
Yeah, the strawiest guy there was. So they realise, you can see on their faces, they're sort of like, they're trying to run through the ramifications of this. What's it going to mean for a Scarryton, an all scarecrow town, to have a half boggling, half whatever you are mayor?
You can stop them in their tracks. Yeah,
that worries them.
I understand that. That's why I'm going to put their minds at ease. It's fine. I'm giving Lunton the job. I'm out.
You can't
Little girl,
make someone else the mayor.
Little girl, Lunton's your dad now.
You did this to us.
It's all right
You
because
better follow through.
he's looking for a daughter. You're looking for a dad. It's a match made in heaven. See you later.
Would that it were so easy, says the little baby scarecrow.
Cool. Hang on a minute.
Rules is rules.
All right, cool. I am the heads off plague. So you can either have me about and you will all lose your heads and die.
You always were a joker, Dad.
Or I'm
says
on the way
little
out.
Baby scarecrow. She tries to hold your hand.
As soon as we're home, you're going on fire. So you fucked it for yourself.
That'll be in the dirted career if you
Yeah,
carry
it's
with that
fine.
kind
Yeah,
of talk.
whatever.
You're
They've
developing-
already made me into a villain. I might as well live
track
up
of
to
your
it.
infamy to fame metric, and let me tell you, you're swinging infamy.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
You want to be careful
No,
because that could have unexpected consequences later. in the
Oh
tale.
yeah, unexpected. You're not going to say that all of a sudden in this epic saga
Something goes
things
wrong.
might not go my way.
Look, there's no two ways about it. You're the mayor of Scarryton.
No, I know there's no two ways about it,
You
and that is
can
because you couldn't be bothered to write a
protest.
version where I left.
Yeah, no, you can leave if you want. But
Yeah, it's fine. I'm out. Gone.
But you feel a crushing sense of obligation to this baby scarecrow, who you've just made
I do
fatherless.
not. I do not. I didn't feel bad about the last one,
Scarecrows-
whose dad was a nonce, and I don't feel bad about this one, whose dad was a racist.
Scarecrows don't sexually reproduce, so she doesn't have a mother. The dad just cut off a bit of his own scarecrow sort of straw flesh and
So
made her.
it's only right that she goes as well.
No. What's going to happen is this. As you're now the mayor, the townsfolk...
This is only part 2 still. You said that there's 4 or 5. We're an hour in.
There's 4. The townsfolk sort of like... You can see that they've, in only a matter of seconds, in the time that we've been chatting, they've come around and they're like, you know what? This could be what Scarryton needs. Maybe Mayor Sawdust, he was a bit old-fashioned. He had some backwards views about things like challenging every person who came to the town to mortal combat, which didn't always go well for everyone. And they're like, okay, sure. And this chant goes up of Delcquest, Delcquest, Del couldn't, and you sort of feel like Boyd
don't.
because no one out there has,
I
has
don't
taken
feel
you
Boyd.
in before.
I don't feel.
It feels
I haven't
amazing.
been taken in.
It feels amazing.
I haven't
to
been
be
taken
wanted,
in.
I guess.
These are people without brains.
No, but full of heart. Well, not literally.
No.
They're full of straw, but
They were
you
full
can
of blood
tell
a minute
that
ago.
They're a loving people, and they've chosen you, or you've chosen yourself.
I haven't
or perhaps
chosen myself.
Fate above has chosen,
Oh, fate
has
can
elected
fuck
for
off.
you to become, as I may have mentioned, the mayor of Scarryton.
Yeah,
You're given the big mayor's
I've
box,
already delegated it all.
and you open the box just out of curiosity to see what's inside.
What is my remit as mayor?
Well, this is it. Inside the box is the
Okay.
remit, and there's just the one thing.
Yep.
It's a one bit of paper.
Go on.
You see that Mayor Sawdust could barely really hold
Yeah,
a pen.
yeah.
It says you translate whole town meeting about all the dying that there is.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's drawn himself. But he's drawn like his dick's out in the picture.
Yep.
And there was no reason for that, but he's put an arrow.
Well,
at
the
it,
reason was
and
he
he's
was going to
labelled
get
it.
his dick out at the town meeting.
He's labelled it.
He was making
Exhibit
his
A.
intentions clear.
So what will be your first act as mayor?
Well,
better
my
call
first
this
act as mayor
meeting,
is
right?
nope. I'm going to use my trusty lighter to set the piece of paper on fire, so nobody has any evidence that he left me this message.
The lighter, you can't use it for 5 more combat turns.
Shut
It's really
the fuck
unfortunate.
up.
So I
Fine.
guess meeting
That's all right.
it is.
I'm going to eat it. I'll eat the piece of paper.
That's fine, you can eat it.
Yep, it's gone.
But the little girl says, "Oh, I saw that bit of paper.
You didn't see
something
shit."
about a town meeting, Dad." And she puts her hand in yours. And
Why
something
are
about
children
you
so
feels-
credible in this world?
Something about you feels like
Nothing about me
a
feels
sense of
like any of
fatherly
what you're
love.
about to say. No,
When she puts her tiny little
I
straw
don't
hand
like
in your
her.
boggling
I never
fist.
wanted kids. I
Well,
never wanted boggling
now you've
kids.
got
And
them. This is the
I don't want
classic
it.
setup. A hardy alpha male boggling.
wasn't an alpha male
meets a
boggling.
little scarecrow
My
guy.
house got
And now
crushed in
it's
the
like-
first minute
it's
of
like
this
that
tale.
Wolverine film. What's it called?
Logan.
I haven't seen
I'm
it.
not-
I think this is what happens. She's a little scarecrow. He's
Hugh
maybe some
Jackman
kind of.
set someone's dick on fire, and all of a sudden, their little daughter and he have to run the local town's meeting.
So, cut ahead a few hours. You've got time to do a short rest. Would you like to take a short rest? You'll get your AP back.
Sure,
You'll be
can I
able to
use my lighter again?
Not just yet, but because there's no combat opportunity just yet. But
Well, it's not.
The lighter will
It's a
refresh.
utility tool. It's not a combat
Oh
tool.
yeah, you can use it to light lanterns.
Yeah, bits of paper.
Bits of paper. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool, that bit of paper at the meeting is gone.
Cool. And the skeletons, there aren't any of those. They're scarecrows. They look at that and they're like, ooh, because
In
they
fact,
realise
I've just set the town hall on fire.
No, the town hall's made of metal. Weirdly. No one knows how that happened, and some think that the town probably formed around that because the scarecrows.
Just
like
out of
little
interest,
pigs.
is there anything else in this town that is not flammable?
Yeah, all the buildings. There are no. Oh well, it's not that they're not flammable. It's that it would really besmirch the office of mayor to start
Yeah,
setting fire
that's
to their
all
own
right.
town.
I'm really
Look,
looking to just
hold your horses.
end the town.
It's meeting time. The meeting begins. It's the early evening now, and you've been taken in a little like tour of Scarryton, and there's not a lot. And these are a humble people, and
They're not a humble people. They're not humble people. The first thing that happened when I arrived at the town was I was challenged to mortal combat
despite your,
by a man made of sawdust with his dick out.
despite your kind of prejudice that you had against scarecrows, it turns out that they're
My
not so
prejudice.
different. They're not so different to you.
They are
And the same
completely
blood
different.
that flows in your veins, although not literally in theirs as well, you can tell that in their essence, you're all the same, right? And you feel that your heart has been hard to the plight of others, and that maybe that might be something you want to reflect on as you continue on your pilgrimage.
Is
to become a
Santa
bog.
Diablo turning up anytime soon?
No, it was at this stage of writing that I remembered that the title was indeed about Santa Diablo, which is why you may have noticed a distinct absence of his presence.
If one
thus
thing was
far.
not in the story so far.
But in another way, that just means he was looming and lurking, because like there are lots of good.
We've had a
horror films
flammable
where-
element coming through.
Yeah.
That's pretty
There are
devilish.
some great horror movies where like you don't see the Babadook until
Jaws.
Act 2. Yeah, Jaws. You don't see him until Jaws 4, Revenge of the Jaws. When turns out it's the one from James Bond. Is he called Jaws as well, that guy? I think he is. You know the one with all the metal jaws?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's who it was. So the town meeting is there, and it's only been a couple of hours, but Scarryton started to feel like a second home, and you're kind of warming to the idea that maybe this You can't stay there, of course, because you've got boglop duties to do.
Yeah, and I don't want to. Crucially, I don't want
But
to
you
stay
realise
here.
that, it's going to be a place where you stop. It's a home away from home.
Well, I've been forced to.
You
We've
walk
been
into
here
the
for
town,
half an hour.
you walk into
at
the
least.
meeting hall, and people are like, yeah, Delcquest, and you're like shaking hands and fist bumping people. A couple of people you do notice after you fist bump them, they're just sort of like washing their, like dusting
No
off their
way.
hands a little bit.
Who'd
But
have
there is a
thunk it?
friendliness there that wasn't there before.
Oh, okay.
You go behind the plinth, the mayor's plinth is what's written on it.
Yeah.
And you notice in the back of it is carved a sort of reservoir or receptacle where you can, like, if you were Mayor Sawdust height, you could rest your wooden cock.
Yeah.
But you're obviously not. You use that as just like an elbow
Yeah,
rest.
I just sort of lean in it.
Okay, knock knock, gavel, meeting begins. Mr. Lumpton stands up and says, Mayor, if I may, I've got the first item on the agenda, in fact the only item, which is the head off plague. May I address the room?
Oh, yeah, go for it, London.
Listen,
You're going to be doing this job in 10 minutes anyway.
townsfolk, friends, compatriots, allies, family, lovers, pals, we are gathered today to remember my family. Mildred Scarecrow Lumpton, was her surname. Little Mike Lumpton. Dodgy Debbie Lumpton. 3 of the finest scarecrows in this town gone because of our enemy. And he gestures at the door, but there's nothing there.
No.
Because it's an illness and he doesn't know how to
He's-
work. The head off plague!
He's not well, bless him. He's been through a lot.
And people sort of like turn around and look, and then they're like, no, there's nothing there. You can look back. Like at the theatre when an effect happens behind you.
He's still hard as a rock.
And people who don't go to the theatre much, they all like look around and they're like, oh, there might be someone, but there's not. There's very rarely. We need to come together for the memory of my family and quash this beast. And I think the gods have sent this boglin to do it. And they point at you. And this is where someone else stands up. You don't know this particular scarecrow. You haven't met it before. Okay. It's a woman scarecrow. And the sort of unusual vibe about her. Like she might be a kind of village outcast in some way. She's got a cynical approach. She's like,
Is she hot?
well, she's a scarecrow, so it's up to you.
Is she hot?
Do you find scarecrows hot?
Is
you found
she hot?
Lumpton hot.
I didn't.
I think Delcquest does find her alluring. Okay. I don't know if Delcquest's open enough to the idea that a scarecrow can be hot yet. Because you've probably
I'm not making use of the dick plinth.
No.
Okay.
No, not just
That's
yet.
fine.
Not just yet. Come on, Lumpton, sit down, she says like that. And Lumpton looks around and he says, no, enough. And she's like, shut up, Lumpton. We all know this isn't no plague. We gotta be honest with the new guy. Tell him what's really going on. And there's this weird vibe happens. Like, what's really going on? We can't tell him. He's an outsider. We've got to tell him for Lumpton's family.
I was wondering when the country accents were coming in with Scarecrow.
Suddenly, the oldest scarecrow in the room, the oldest scarecrow you've ever seen,
Yep.
a filthy, fossilised straw hag covered in mottled old soil and
It's
moss
feces,
and worms
isn't it?
and feces, probably,
Yeah.
crow shit. The little old, those little circular crunch bones you get in a tin of salmon. She's got those all over her as well,
That's a
because you
shame.
learn that's
Inexplicably.
that's all they eat. Scarecrows.
Oh, I
That's
see.
all they can eat. She slowly approaches the scarecrow Mike and she says, "Listen, ye well bastard boglin."
Thanks,
She's
ma'am.
talking to you.
No,
And I will
understand.
tell ye the truth of the matter. With this, a strange atmosphere pervades
No.
the town hall.
Go on.
They start this weird. All the scarecrows stand up really straight, and they start this weird humming,
No, I'm sure they don't.
and it sounds a little bit
No,
like
like
this.
what? No.
And this humming, and humming and swaying. I don't know if you can hear that really well in your imagination. And they're all like, it's like they're kind of going into a trance, and someone's flicked off the lights so that there's only the sunset, this orange, murky, dusky quality in the room. And it's sort of shining straight on her old wicked face. And she looks you dead in the eyes and she says, "It were a night, much alike to this very night what it is right now. His mother was a simple village scientist," she says. "His father," she spits on the ground, a bit of it bottles up and hits you.
Of course.
"A filthy dirt elf," and they all spit
Oh, not a dirt elf.
like that. Of course
I
the
spit
boy
as well. I don't know.
was going to come out all wrong in the head and the body. They say he was the largest baby of all time. Bigger than a rock, bigger than a marbles, bigger than a prize. The large lad. The devil's large lad. We're pulling it back. On his
Seamless.
On his 12th birthday, we had his father stoned to death for no good reason. And the boy didn't like that. He didn't like that one bit. The chanting gets a little bit more intense for some reason. Well, it didn't read, but it did get more intense.
Okay,
There's
that's
another
good.
octave. Clutching the stony dead body of his wrong race dad, the boy shouted through his dirt elf tears, I will avenge ye, pappy, or my name isn't Santa Diablo, the devil's large lad. You see now where he is. That was exactly last year.
No!
And since then, people have been dying a whole lot in mysterious circumstances.
Heads off and all.
We told Lunton it was a plague, but that was because we don't respect him enough to share the truth.
I
The great
empathise, ma'am.
masturbating fool. The real truth, Mayor. And she spits for no clear reason.
No, the reason is all too clear.
This ain't the work of no illness, no pandemic. This is the work of Santa Diablo, the devil's large lad. And the chanting dies down as she hobbles back to her seat. And you feel that you've witnessed something sort of religious.
So, sorry, is he a scarecrow too?
She hobbles back to her seat and one of the scarecrows flicks the lights back on.
Sorry, is he a scarecrow as well?
They're still in this sort of trance state and they do ignore you.
Okay, cool.
And
I
they sit
walk out.
back down.
I'm out. I've walked out the door.
You're right, you walked out the door because you realise you've got to find Santa Diablo.
I'm not
You've
interested
got
in
to put
finding
an
him.
end to this.
I don't
once
want to
and
put an
for
end
all.
to it.
Now, we've got some free time here where you can explore the village, ask people for some advice. Where is it? How are you going to find it?
I've left. I've walked
You
out the
cannot
village.
leave.
I can. The
can't
one reason that I engaged in Mortal Kombat was so I could leave. I won. I have the right to go.
okay.
I am the mayor.
Explore.
I am gone.
Try to leave.
I'm
Let's see
out.
what happens.
Cool. I've walked out the.
You walk towards the
Yep.
exit.
Straight out the path I came from. I'm going back the way I was
As
going
you walk,
originally.
you get
Oh,
you
go
get
on.
a quarter of the way back.
Yeah, go on.
Through the Whispering
Yeah.
Woods.
Yeah,
and you
go on. What happens?
Stop. Dead in your trap.
No, I just kept
and
walking.
you think you picture that little baby scarecrow.
I
Scarecrow
don't
Jay,
give a shit
and
about
you think
her.
her future could be bereft.
I don't think
It
this.
could be cut short by
I don't
Santa
think
Diablo,
this.
the
Delkin
devil's
doesn't
large
think
lad.
this.
And suddenly the
The
memory
mayor
of all that
doesn't think
chanting
this.
starts, and you think, "I've got to go back.
I
I've got
would
to
not-
see this thing
I want
through
to go
to the
the
end."
opposite direction to this
The
chanting.
chanting's pulling you in, and you start doing it too,
It's
and you're
not.
like,
I'm not
and
doing
you take
that.
a step with each and you find yourself within no time at all back. Welcome to Scarryton, and everyone's cheering. We knew he'd come back. We just knew it. They say, and here you are. You know you've got to find him. You know you've got to put a stop to this. You know you won't be able to rest easy and even think about becoming a boglock until you do the right goddamn thing. For Lunton. Yes, for Mayor Sawdust, your erstwhile enemy. And now you've taken his job, so you're basically the same. What are you going to do? How are you going to find Santa Diablo?
I don't. They wouldn't even
could
tell
ask
me if
him
he's
a-
a scarecrow.
Well, you could ask.
I don't. I
Ask
hate.
one of the
I hate
old
this
women,
in
ask
games.
that cynical
I don't.
woman.
I asked the old woman already. She wouldn't tell me.
No, go and ask her.
Oh, is he a scarecrow?
asked-
Santa Diablo.
you asking
Yeah, I'm
me.
asking you. Just answer the fucking question, you hag.
My first is in Scarecrow.
Right. You can answer me now.
My
I'm setting you on
second's
fire.
in- You can't do that.
I can. I absolutely can.
When you're allied to folk, you can't do
I
violence on them.
can do violence
And
on.
you're
I am
actually a
the
super
mayor.
allied now.
I am the mayor.
As the mayor,
I
you
can
can't
do what I want.
You can't do citizenicide.
What can I do?
You
What
can-
can I
you
do?
can ask
What
anyone
can I
anything.
do that doesn't take another hour of my life?
You can cut to the chase and
Yeah,
say,
go on.
Look, old woman, I need to know where he is.
I've
and
said
when
that
he
to her 3 times and you haven't answered the question! Is he a scarecrow?
is. We know not what he is.
Oh, you knew all about him 10 minutes ago, you
Wait a
fucking
second.
bitch!
Why didn't ye listen to me tale? He were the son of a dirt elf, and everyone spits on the floor again. You get someone.
Yeah?
No, ain't no scarecrow being a son of a dirt elf.
What was he doing around here then? You
don't-
are all scarecrows.
We don't be knowing those things.
Oh, it's really convenient what you do and don't know. You know what? I think you know shit.
Right, where's the police? Throw her in jail.
We don't got no police.
Yeah, well, you
Ain't
do
never
now.
Been a crime in
Lunton,
Scarrington.
you're the sheriff.
Yes, what would you like?
Throw this cunt in prison.
This old dear.
Yep.
That's me nan.
Yep, tough. She said she doesn't respect you enough to tell you that your kids and your wife were murdered by Santa Diablo, the Devil's Large Lad, rather than the head off plague.
Delcquest.
Which, honestly, I cannot even begin to believe why you thought that was a thing.
Delcquest, walk with me, says Lunton.
I'm
Walk
not
with me
going
to the edge of the Whispering
I'm not
Woods.
walking with
I won't
you
ask
anywhere.
you to jack me off this time, I promise.
God, I don't
We're
believe
friends
you,
now.
and I don't care.
We're friends. He walks you to the edge of the Whispering Woods and he's got his arm around you in a way that feels quite comforting, actually.
It does not.
He says, listen, Delcquest, I've been doing some soul searching and I realised that the straw has been being pulled over my eyes big time. I was
Yeah, they've
crazy
been
to
having
think,
you on. You're a mug.
I was crazy to think that a plague could have head off my wife and son and daughter. And so I've been doing some digging and here, you can't let them know that I told you this, but I need you to take this information. And he hands you an envelope made of straw and you take it and he says, Godspeed, Delcquest. And he walks off into the woods, already reaching down his scarecrow kex and whipping it out. He's just sort of jacking it as he walks.
As he hops
Not
along.
even, get the sense, not even really for pleasure. Just absent-mindedly. Kind of sadly, actually.
It's like an
wistfully.
instinct.
Yeah. So you open this envelope and inside it says 2 words. Ping pong swamp.
That's 3 words.
No, ping pong's 1 word in this.
Oh, okay. Well, again.
I don't make the
wonderful
rules.
the things that
I don't
are.
make the rules.
Right.
You read it again. Ping pong swamp. You read it a 3rd time. Ping pong swamp. Now, this doesn't mean anything to you.
No, it doesn't mean anything.
But luckily you remember that cynical old scarecrow stood up.
The one I
young
threw in
one, actually,
jail.
yeah, the hot one.
Oh, okay.
She's the mapstress of the town.
Oh, that's good.
And she lives just over there.
Maybe she can show me the
Only
way
a
out.
couple of 5 to 10 gunges away.
Yeah.
Do you head over?
I could probably set it on fire from here.
Do you want to find where Ping Pong Swamp is?
No.
Part 4, probing the Ping Pong Swamp.
What was part 3?
That was the Legend of Santa Diablo.
Oh, okay, I don't think you mentioned that.
Well, that's what it was, and you did hear a legend, didn't you? I can do it again.
No,
We can have a
oh
bit
God,
more.
no. No.
I need that for my notes. Now, you go over to the mapstress. She is really not interested in chat. to be
Wow,
honest.
but
she
her
says-
and me both.
She says, look, I'll tell you where the Ping Pong Swamp is if you agree to get the fuck out of this town.
That's all I want.
Well,
you
it
don't
sounds
even,
like we
you
got
don't even have
ourselves
to tell me.
an agreement.
I'll go. I'll just go.
No,
you know what?
no.
You keep the knowledge to yourself.
No.
I'm going.
You made a pledge
I'm
to
gonna go.
little
Look,
Sally
my
Scarecrow
buddy
when you
Lunton,
killed her
he's
dad.
over there. He needs someone to help jack him off. And honestly, at this point, if that's what it takes, I'm willing to debase myself.
You realise, once again, that pang of guilt.
I
from when
wish
killed
that you
Mayor
would stop.
Sawdust.
I do not feel any guilt
And
at
so
all.
you agree to go to the Ping Pong Swamp. She points you in the direction.
When am I giving my speech?
Yeah, we missed that. It's now. We were going towards the Ping Pong Swamp, and someone says, Mayor, don't leave us. And you turn round, and it's not Lunton, who I meant for it to be, but that's the wrong voice. It's another guy called Garth, who's another scarecrow that you've seen about town. He's you get the sense of maybe he's quite troubled kind of guy. He's always like writing stuff down, but you can tell his hand's too shaky to like really take notes. And he's just a trembling sort of wreck. Don't leave us, Mayor. Please, Mayor Delcquest. No one's ever come back from the Ping Pong Swamp. He says a lot of stuff like that. Like he talks for ages.
I can't
And
wait.
you say, listen, and there's a whole sort of a swarm of people, scarecrows now, gathering, trying to placate him. Like, it's all right, Garth, he's got to do this. He's going to save us. Lunton said we can trust him. Little Sally Scarecrow's there.
Yep.
She comes to hold your hand as well. Just slips her hand right in. And you're standing there and you say, I'm going to save you guys because that's the kind of boglin I am. And none of you were very nice to me, but I'm going to show you what it means to be a hero. And they're like, you can tell they're not really won over by this because there's something about Delcquest. He's a kind of shabby, tragic wreck. He doesn't project a winning
fits.
vibe. But luckily, you've prepared your rhetoric skill, which has just leveled up. And you have a speech ready,
Yeah.
which you can now give.
Oh, that's good.
What are you going to do, Delcquest? Mayor Delcquest, how are you going to save the day? And you say the following.
Citizens, council folk. No, stop that. First order, stop that.
Whenever someone's speaking, they
Yep, stop that.
naturally stop.
That's a
doing.
new thing that we've introduced.
Is it out, Lord?
Yeah, there's no more of that.
Let me see the legislation.
My sheriff's going to come get you. Just as soon as he's come all over the plants, he's going to come back.
Reluctantly, they stop.
That's good.
But you can tell that they really want to still be doing it.
No, I know. As a teacher, Delcquest in a previous life knows what it's like when you've got a class full of people who want to do something that they're not allowed to do.
Fair enough.
I stand here.
Shh. You shush them again, and you begin.
Last warning as well.
No, they all nod.
I've got my lighter out now.
They hit the guy who
I've
did
got
that
my
as well.
lighter out. It's ready and
fine.
primed. They're only 4 gunges away. They're well within range. I stand here before you, a man of stunted leg and scabbard arm.
True.
A student, not just... No interjections.
Sorry! Shouts the scarecrow.
You're added to Lunton's list. Not just of the damn parts, but a student of life itself. The world is a little different from down here.
Woo! One of them applauds.
They're on fire.
You can't be such a tyrant.
They
there.
are on. I won the position inadvertently by killing the previous mayor in combat. I can do what I want. The world is a little different from down here, and I dare say none other in this town has
Skeleton.
had coinage tossed their way in a taunting request for entertainment.
I have.
It would be easy for a boglin in my position to be poisoned against the world, against you.
What's a boglin
To be
anyway?
abstracted from the very concept of good, the concept of hope, the concept of betterment. It would be all too easy to slip through the cracks and become a dissident, a social terrorist, intent on further corrupting a world that has corrupted me.
The crowd's all clapping here because you get the sense they've sort of missed the point and they think that this conditional is the absolute.
But that's not my intention.
Oh.
Of course, it would be false to say the thought has never crossed my mind. Some days the sneering and jeering, the collective weight of prejudice presses heavy on my calloused shoulders, and I can feel my spindly knees begin to quake. When the whole world looks down on you, it's easy to assume you're supposed to go lower. Today, however, I stand here before you with a pure heart and a noble mind. I stand before you with a dream for a better world, one that benefits my detractors and assailants, as well as myself and my few defenders.
He stirred Lunton's straw.
I stand, but I will kneel. I will fall prostrate before you and beg. I will partake of propitiation to you, my elders and betters, if it means your blessing. I will do whatever need be done
What's
for
he on
you
about?
to nod my way, to raise your wooden thumbs, to join hands with me in prayer for a realm in which we can all feel comforted. My friends, we are left with but one choice.
Ping, pong, swamp.
We must
Ping, pong, swamp.
disband Skeleton.
What?
It's done. As a concept, it has failed.
Just then, Lunton comes running up. Cocks winging wildly in the wind. Delcquest, I'm glad I caught you.
Yep.
I've thought better of it.
I've just said.
There's no time for that,
London,
Delcquest. There's no time to
Skeleton's
catch me
over.
up. Shut up.
It was good while it lasted.
I was wrong about you. I was wrong about all of you, not just you, but all the half freaks out there.
Yep. Thanks very much.
I've been blinkered, Delcquest, by my upbringing,
No, you
by
don't
my
get to blame that.
prejudice,
That's a cop out.
by the sins of my fathers.
No. We're not having
And
that.
like
You
with
knew what you
all
were doing.
things, the apple fall not far from the tree.
That's
and
why
that
you
is
tried
why
to wank me off.
I will wank you off.
No, you
on
will
the way
not.
to Ping Pong Swamp.
No.
Where we'll be going together.
We're not going to the
And he
ping pong
grabs
swamp.
you forcefully and throws you on his back.
Citizens,
And
you're out.
everyone's charming.
Get rid
They're
of
all
the
chanting.
city.
They're like, yeah, off they go. They're doing the om. But this one is like slightly different. This om means like, enjoy Ping Pong Swamp. And off you pop. Part 4, the final part. Probing the Ping Pong Swamp. You're on Lunton's back. You've been travelling for, to be honest, not that long. When you've there's been a lot of battle, but we're going to like swiftly go through that. You fought a couple of weird bugs, and there was a really long fight that I had planned out, but we'll skip, where you were just going to fight. Lunton just got very suspicious of one bit of the swamp water, and you had to just battle that water. The water had no moves because it was
was
just,
inanimate.
Yeah, and then when he was done with it, he tried to have sex with the water.
No.
as well, unfortunately.
Lunton, he's a simple guy.
You've been travelling for 10 minutes, and Scarrington, to be honest,
We've
is still
already
in
fought
sight.
these bugs and the water.
And you happen upon a hut. You realise that
Have they started taking down the buildings like
you
on the
can't
signs?
quite see from here, but you're not far away.
I'm
so
sure
you can
they.
easily
I'm
go
sure
into
they
it.
have. They wouldn't mess with me after they know I could kill any of them.
Lunton's breath catches in his straw throat. This is it. I've heard tell of this place, he says. And you kind of.
I'm not whispering. I'm like, yeah, it's the ping pong swamp.
yes, you're right.
Yeah, it's okay. You can just talk to me,
This
Lunton.
is the hut of Santa Diablo, the Devil's Large Lad.
Cool. Where is he?
He's
Does
probably
he-
inside.
Diablo, do you want Scarrington, mate?
You don't hear a response.
Diablo,
You approach and on
it's
the door,
honestly yours.
on the door
if
it
you
says,
want it.
Home sweet home brackets of Santa Diablo, the Devil's Large
makes
Lad.
sense.
So you think this is probably the place? What do? You're going to knock? You're going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
barge
Knock on the
in?
door. Knock on the door. Yeah.
You're being polite.
Well, you start that way.
You're
yeah.
going
yeah.
for the diplomacy.
Yeah,
even though you
I
know
want
that
to
this
give
is
him a town. Yeah.
this is a scarecrow genocider.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, he was fine with me being genocided earlier and my people, so I
Who?
don't
Santa
see.
Diablo?
No. Lunton.
Oh, I know.
So I
but
don't
my
mind.
point is
So I'm perfectly happy for his people. Like I
the enemy of your enemy is
I
your friend.
understand Santa Diablo. I understand why he wants to genocide the
Interesting,
scarecrows
interesting.
because they're a bunch of rapey
So
pervs.
no. Come in, says a voice inside.
Yeah, go on.
And you
Who is
open
it?
the
Is
door.
it Santa Diablo?
Well, what happens?
God, well, do I open the door?
Yeah, he said, "Come
it's
in."
openable from the inside, from the outside. Yeah,
It's not locked.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's
yeah,
he's in the ping
I've
pong
stepped
swamp.
inside.
Hello.
Yep. You Santa Diablo?
Well, yeah, you saw the.
Yeah,
sign
yeah.
on my heart,
I didn't
right?
know. I didn't know if he maybe
Who are
hired
you?
some staff.
Can I get you a drink?
No. It's honestly
Are you-
fine.
Sorry, just to interrupt. Are you a boglin?
Half.
May I say, it's a pleasure to meet you. And he puts out his
Yeah,
hand.
it's a pleasure to meet
It's
you too.
really good to meet you. I've never met a boglin before.
Well,
I've read
the
about
first
you
time for
guys, though.
everything.
Fascinating folk. You've got some great achievements.
We've got short legs.
So have I.
Shortest around.
Haven't we all?
I noticed.
Come
Listen,
in, sit
look,
down, take a
I
load
really
off.
want to cut to the
You must be
chase.
far from home.
Well, it depends how you describe it.
Can I get you a pint of scroggy ale?
Definitely not.
Okay,
No.
well that's right. You don't mind if I...
No,
partake?
partake.
And who's your friend?
Don't call him a friend.
Is he always trouserless?
He's a serf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
What can I do you for? Your name was...
It's Delcquest.
Hang on. And he reaches behind him onto the chair where
Yeah.
he's sitting. And he pulls up a bit of paper. He says...
Yeah,
dirty
the-
courier.
yeah, the-
Delcquest the boglin nonce.
That's what they've decided to name me. It's
But this
not
is
true.
not true.
No, well, you know that.
Yeah, I do know that.
I've actually got the
mainstream
evidence in my
media,
bag.
They've slandered me as well.
Yeah,
They slander, I
I've
tell you
heard.
what, all of the little folk.
Well, you should hear what the scarecrows are saying about you.
I know only too well what those scarecrows say, and I'm ashamed that you brought one to my door, to
Well-
be honest. I don't want to attack you, he says. I don't want
It's
to...
fine. I understand. I haven't brought it here as an equal. I brought it here as a sacrifice, and as something of a good faith, sort of like offering to tell you that I'm very happy to just give you Scarrington.
All the while that you're talking, Lunton is standing at the door, and he's like frothing at the mouth. He's
You
like,
fucking stand still, you fucking straw prick.
Get him!
Or I will set you on fire so fast you
You're going
won't
to
even
flick out
know.
your lighter to
Yeah,
hold him at
yeah,
bay.
yeah, already.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Stay there, Scarecrow. You people have done enough harm to me and mine already, says Santa Diablo proudly.
They were
He's
saying...
got a certain dignity about him.
Yeah, well, he would have.
He is a child.
Listen, Diab. Do you mind if I call you Diab?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, listen, Diab.
Have a seat, by the way.
It's fine. I prefer to stand.
Okay.
These people, they've been telling some stories about you. They're pretty horrific. Now, honestly, at this point, I do not care if
I've
they're
been
true
cutting
or
their
not.
heads off.
Yeah, I thought that might be
One by one, until they're all dead.
Yep,
For
and-
payment for what they did to my dirt elf father.
And I totally understand. Now,
You know, he's not even a dirt elf. There is no such thing.
well,
He's a dark elf. That's a classic fantasy trope.
oh, that makes
That's
a lot
what
more
they
sense.
call him, the dirt
They're
elf.
quite deaf, aren't they?
And they're
quite
raised-
deaf and
They're
racist.
prejudiced.
They
Have
really
you
are.
noticed that?
Yeah, no, I have.
Yeah.
Now listen, I don't know why you didn't try this. When I turned up, the mayor
while he had his big dick out.
Sawdust.
Yeah, that was him.
Doesn't he always?
Well, what happened was he challenged me to combat, and I did set him on fire.
You did what?
I set him on fire.
Fire.
Yeah, I used this to set him on fire.
I've heard tell of fire.
So it killed him. I've got a kid. I'm not that keen. We're perfectly happy to like gloss over that. She can be part of the genocide as well. We'll come to that in a second.
Okay.
Basically, it's like the Santa Claus. I've had to take it over.
I'm not familiar with the
Good
Santa
movie.
Claus.
I'll send you an MP4 of it.
Okay.
I've had to take over
As mayor?
As mayor, yeah.
Of Scarryton. Then
Of
we are enemies,
Scarryton.
sir.
Well, we're not enemies because I don't want to be. I hate the place.
Take it down from
I
within.
hate the people. Well, again, I feel like you're overthinking it. I'm literally here to say I am never going back there. It is yours. Here's the idea. I'm going to let you kill Lunton right here.
You'll do no such thing.
I might join in.
Mayor.
I might... Shut up, Lunton.
He's really erect.
You are a fucking dipwad.
He's thrusting
At what
at the
point
door.
has he not been? Honestly, I think we might have to spare London because I think it's a war crime too far to kill a man of his mental stature.
Yeah,
He's here as an offering. We kill him or we don't.
Wait.
Delcquest,
let me just say my piece. You've sought me out in the ping pong swamp.
You can.
Let me speak.
Just let me.
You get the sense that you're going to have to let him speak.
I don't get any such sense. Then
I need vengeance for my poor dead dad who was killed by these racist
I'm going to let you kill them all.
I can't do that myself.
Why not?
Because
take my lighter. It's easy.
I don't know how to use it.
It's fine.
I'm a technophobe.
It works itself.
Let me give you this offer.
Fine. If I help you kill them all, can I leave
Side
Scarryton?
with me, Santa Diablo, the devil's large knight. Burn down Scarryton and avenge the spirit of my poor murdered dad by killing all those racist scarecrows.
Yep.
Or don't, I guess.
But yeah, that's
and then
fine.
Lunton is at the door saying, "Don't do it, Declan.
No,
you need to
shut
side
up,
with
Lunton.
Me."
I'm sick of you.
You're the mayor. You can't burn down Scarryton, he says.
I can.
You've got to lead us. We took you in.
No.
I took you through the woods. You sit on my back all day.
Took me in is a really, really... it's a phrase that's doing a lot of heavy lifting, yeah? Because you kidnapped me.
We made you one of our own.
You didn't make me one of your own. You didn't accept me.
You can't do this.
You just put me... You just gave me a title.
Chanting. Delcquest, you're going to have to choose. It's Santa
I've already
Diablo
chosen.
or me, your buddy Lunton.
I came here and gave him the choice. What makes you think you have a chance?
Think again.
Nope.
I'll chuck you, silly.
I've already turned that down.
What are you going to do?
Well, look, here's what I'm going to do. I whisper this to Santa Diablo.
Okay.
Here's what we're going to do.
Okay. He can still hear us, I think.
Who, Lunton?
Yeah.
No, it's fine. He's deaf.
He can't come in. I've put a big anti-scarecrow spell on the door.
He's deaf as a post as well. Okay. We're going to make it look like you kill me. Now,
why?
by the transitive property, that means that you are then mayor. So you
cool.
go back, and then you can terrorize them for as much as you want. Here's my mobile number. Just give me a ring. Send us a text. Cool. Do you do any sort of spells?
I've got a pager.
That's absolutely fine. That's
I don't
cool.
know how to work it.
Okay.
I tell you what.
Go on.
Have these people abused you?
Yeah.
What? Come with me. We'll burn them down together.
Oh, I was thinking you might want to have some fun taunting them for a
I
bit.
want them burned
Okay,
to
well,
the fucking ground.
Sorry. Well,
It's only a 5 grunge walk or whatever our unit of measurement is.
I offered this to you 20 minutes ago, and
burn 'em.
you insisted on offering me a
Meanwhile,
Brongly
Lunton's
ale
like,
or whatever the fuck
you
it
wouldn't
was.
dare, you little half-breed.
And then just to demonstrate to Santa Diablo the power of the lighter, I kill London where he stands.
And he starts jacking furiously, trying to get one out before the grave takes him. Bam! No, he doesn't quite.
No.
Just a bit of ash.
And that's
out.
his tragedy.
And that's it. He's just a pile of dust now.
Yeah.
So you're going to
Santa Diablo, he's a gape.
He's really pleased, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's giggling.
No. He's
like,
jacking it himself.
He's like this. That's amazing. I
Yep.
should have thought of that. I haven't heard of these before. Lighter, you say.
Yeah.
So come with me. We'll burn it down. And
Yep.
then I tell you what, I just get this sense about you. You're a man with a mission, a man on a quest. And
My
I think
quest
I
at
could
this
help
point
you
is
with that.
honestly just to leave
I've got a
Skeleton.
special sword that will mean that you never have to deal with this sort of thing again. You'll be able to cut down any of the weird obstacles the narrator puts in your path. What do you think? You want that sword?
Yeah, I'd like that sword. It doesn't come with any caveats, does it?
Not a one.
No.
Not a
Yep. So
one.
what do you need for it?
We're going to go and burn it down
Yep.
together.
Sure. Let's go.
Right,
Off we
describe
go.
it. What happens? You leave. You're really close to
We can
Skeleton.
literally see it. They can see
You
us
could probably
coming
just
back.
lob the lighter,
The old,
to be honest.
the old lady's at the front. She's pointing out Santa Diablo.
The mayor's back! The mayor's back! They all
Yep.
start. I mean, what have you found, mayor?
Yep. So if everyone could gather together,
Like a kind of bonfire. Smallest on
just sort
top.
of like standing piled on top of one another.
Sure thing, mayor.
Yep.
Why are we doing this again?
Women and children at the bottom.
What's the end game here, mayor? You found the problem in the ping pong swap.
Well,
Who's that?
Yep. So
They stop because they've noticed Santa Diablo.
yep. He's come here to apologise.
Oh.
He's come here to, and that's why I want us all together so we
They
can all hear.
gather. They're all very gullible.
Literally everyone.
Every member of the town.
Every member of
Apart
the
from
town.
Sally, the baby scarecrow you saw in your hand.
Yep. Sally over
She
there.
won't let go, she's very needy.
That's all right. I've lobbed.
Oh, God.
Sally over there with the rest of them. Yeah,
What'd you
that's
throw
fine.
me for?
Someone, you just hold on to her.
She's trying to run
Good
back.
and tight. It's fine. They've got hold of her. They're terrified and in awe of me. So it's all right. They'll do whatever I ask.
What's that in his hand? One of them says.
Yeah, this was my lighter that I used to become mayor. It's very dear to me now.
Keep it away.
It's all right. It's out of fire juice.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So
that's
it's,
probably how they work.
yeah. So it's.
I don't
it's
think it is, says Sally.
It's
'cause
okay.
She knows a lot
Yeah,
about
well,
stuff like that.
she's an idiot. Yeah, she's a very simple child. She doesn't know very much. It's honestly fine.
They're chanting.
Yeah, that's good.
They're all swaying.
That's
on the
cool.
bonfire.
Yeah, just keep that. Gets the oxygen flowing. Don't you worry, Santa.
It's now or never, Delk, says Santa Diablo.
Go on then. Do you want to say your apology?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary scarecrows, I'd like to apologise. I thought we could coexist, you and I. Scarecrow, a man of straw, and me, a man of flesh, albeit elf flesh, half. But you
And
were
dark.
such a prejudiced bunch of cucks
Yep.
that it's come to this. For father! And you throw
I
the
throw
lighter.
the lighter.
And Santa Diablo himself
and I'm just gonna say-
dives on to the bonfire and starts pummeling, boom, 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 tearing
I've
every
thrown
bit he
it
can.
straight at Sally's face. I want her going first.
Daddy!
She's
She screams.
She's the absolute tinder
this is-
that lights the
They're
rest
still
of it.
chanting, but it's like, oh,
Yep.
and it's going,
Santa, you probably want to step back.
go without me, Delk.
No,
His
just
face
let me
is
know
all
where that
charred
sword.
like Two-Face.
Just let me know where it is.
It's over at the...
No, spin it
And
now,
he's
you
dead.
cunt.
He's
Spin
fucking
it.
dead.
I knew it.
Now the chanting...
I'm absolutely beating his corpse. I'm so
futile.
sick.
The sun has set, and
Yep.
this is a kind of a beautiful dark spectacle.
Yeah,
And by
it-
dark
no,
I mean
it-
it's very light because it was a fire.
Yep.
But as the last embers of this Skeleton genocide turn to ash, you feel a tingling in the palm.
Not the coin again.
It's exactly the
Not
cool
the
token.
token.
You pick it
What's he got to
up
say?
to your face and open it.
Yep.
Hey Delcquest, I mean, you ready for an adventure?
No. I'm really done. for
That's
the day.
great. Here we go.
No, stop.
Boop, 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 and it's making your palm do a big spell around you.
Oh god.
The cool token teleports you right back to the crossroads at which you began today's adventure.
Oh.
And you hear in your memory and in your subconscious, I suppose, the faint hums of those Skeleton folk who you burnt to dust for no reason.
No, it was very easily avoidable
Other
on their part.
than that they were a bunch of racists.
Yep.
That was Delcquest episode 2. The Legend of Santa Diablo,
Oh god.
the Devil's Large Lad.
I need a drink.
Look for the bare necessities necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you.